Hello, this is Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter here. You've seen in previous videos how I've used batiks and I've used fabric from my fabric stash and white cotton fabric yardage to create a quilt. I'm going to do the same in this video using greens that I previously used in the adapted Irish chain quilt. And I'm going to talk you through the fabric pull to match the batiks that I bought at half price in a garden centre about 2 years ago now, and 100% cotton from my fabric stash, and sew it together to create my pattern design called the Gemstone Quilt, which is on point. I'm going to pull fabric from my fabric stash and I want 100% cotton. I'm looking for blues and purples. So I'm going in this blue and down into this purple, and I want a variety. So let me see what I can find. Because I want to use up fabric that I've already cut, I'm going to use blocks that are 2.5 inch wide. So this would be jelly roll friendly. As you can see, I didn't know how much to cut last time and I've got quite a lot left. Now I'm using a 6.5 inch block for cutting the batik and the white cotton fabric for the background, partly because I've got a 6.5 inch ruler, which I find easy to use, but also I find it easier to cut 6.5 inches on my Fiskars rotary cutter. So I'm going to be using this green, which is emerald, and then matching it up with purple and blue, which will be the equivalent of amethyst and lapis lazuli. And I'm looking for fabrics that are a variety of colours, mid, light and dark, and then a variety of fabric designs. And it's all got to show up against a white cotton. So let's see what I've got in my stash and what I can pull. I've actually got loads of fabric here. I've got far too much even for this quilt, so I'll still have lots left over. When I'm cutting from a shirt, a skirt, a dress, it's easy to pull a 2.5 inch strip, but just make sure that you cut it on the grain rather than on the bias. Fabrics were really good quality and I got them for half price when the garden centre was closing down a couple of summers ago now. And you'll see in each batik there is a variety of colours. This one's got quite a pink, almost a dark blue shot through it, and the blue has got a navy almost up to turquoise blue in it. So I'm looking for fabrics that will contrast with these designs, but also complement these two colours. As you can see, I'm working in my kitchen and I'm next to my sink, so I've got to make sure that I don't drop my fabric in the sink, but you can see that my sink is clean. Right, it's always best to do a fabric pull because you're looking at fabrics, the colour of fabrics in a natural light. I have got an overhead light on, but there is still daylight. And although there are more blue shirts to be found in the charity shops than any other colour, I couldn't find the blue I was actually looking for because things clashed with it. So let me show you what I've pulled here. This is 14 fabrics and I certainly don't want this mix, but I'll see what I've selected and then tell you why I've chosen not to use it. Now, always when I'm looking to combine fabrics, I'm looking for a mix of dark, medium and light, and I will check this in grayscale. So the first thing, I've selected fabrics that will complement the blue in colour, and I'm looking for a mixture of abstract, floral, check and stripes, and I've only actually found 2 stripes that I think go well with this fabric, so I'm going to select them. This one was from a shirt and it's got a blue and a purple in, and you can see that although I'm using this as a blue batik, it will reflect the purple, and then the deep navy is taken up with this stripe, and this has got a little bit of a sheen on it too. Again, both shirt fabrics. When it comes to check, you can get a straightforward gingham to quite complex checks in men's shirts, and I picked these three out colour-wise, and I hope you can see straight away which one I'm going to discard, and that's this one, because although the colours in it are fabulous and look quite jewel-like, look, you've got turquoise, navy, a green, but it's this beige colour. And I don't really want to introduce any yellow into this quilt. So that one I'm going to deselect. And instead I'm going to choose these. One is a gingham and one is a larger check. And as you can see, the colours go beautifully. The soft purpley hues are great from this one. And each time I cut a 2-inch square from that, I'll get a quite different cut depending on how it's sewn. And then from the gingham we've got turquoise going into the navy, and you can see that the background there is white, and that's going to link up with my background colour. I don't want anything that's off-white. For my florals, I've gone from a really deep navy through to those with a background of a white. And I'm going to show you first of all these blue and green fabrics, because I think they're going to be definite yeses. These were from ladies' dresses. This was from a Peruna. This has got some embroidery on glay. And again, there's then some interest in the fabric itself, and the colours go brilliantly. Likewise, the green and the blue. Again, I think this was a Peruna ladies' dress that I took apart. And I think that the shaping and the softness of those, the abstract of this one and the definite florals of this one will go lovely and soften that quilt. So those two are definite yeses. From the other florals then, when I hold them against the batik, I don't really want another that's got white in the background, so I'm going to discard that one straight away. And out of these three, I'm looking at, does the colour that comes here complement this? This one definitely does. This one makes it look a little bit bluey purpley, which I think is really nice. And there is a definite style in that, so that's paisley, where the others are, one is a bit abstract, one's definitely floral. That one would certainly work. This blue, almost, it's like an Air Force blue, but it almost looks grey beside it, so I think I'm going to say no to that one. And this one, I think I don't like it as much as I like this one beside it, so I'm going to opt for this one. Then I really want a deep tone, and these have all got patterns within them, as you can see. It's to emphasise the real deep vein of navy that we have. There are two colours in blues in this one, which I think will go really well. Do I want more white? I've already got quite a lot of white there, so that's a maybe. But this navy on navy, it's almost a denim effect, I think will go really well and will look really dark against those other colours. So I'm going to discount this one because I've already got a lot of white, and select these two. So let me look then at that fabric selection, and then just let me check it in grayscale. And then just check it against your white background. I think there's enough contrast here to show up against that white. I'm happy with my blues colours. Let's check the purples now. I had less choice from purple than I thought I did, and I actually might need to go into linen rather than just cotton for this. But using those same principles, I hope you can see straight away that there's one that stands out that has got too much yellow in it, and that's this one. So I'm going to remove that straight away. So we'll start with the stripes first. I think these two stripes are perfect. They both differ, so it's not the same stripe. They've got a white background, and I think the colour blends will go into that purple really well. So they're a definite yes. Of the checks then, I've got three choices. These two are actually quite similar ginghams, even though they're different in size. And one is slightly darker colour. They're very similar, whereas this one has got alternate colours in it, including turquoises, a deeper purple, and going into a really dark, it's a dark grey, I think. Now, there is a little bit of a citrine yellow in this one, and I'm really not sure whether I can accommodate that or not. So that's I'm not sure. But if I only stick to these two purples, have I got enough contrast then when I look at those stripes? No, I don't think I have. I think I would have, if I took that one out and put those two in, that gives me a contrast, doesn't it? So I think that one's going to be a keeper. I am actually very surprised I haven't got much choice in purple florals, but these two are perfect because they link in colour-wise and they contrast well with each other. Look at the threads that come off this. Colour-wise, these colours blend in really well. Look at how lovely that pale lilac goes in against the purple, and the darker purple really gives me the richness that this quilt needs. So I think those two are keepers. Now I'm going to show you how, although this colour matches, I don't want too much of it because I don't want this to look red, I want it to look purple. So I'm going to discard that, but I'm going to show you just how small amounts will work in quilts like this. I only need small pieces of it. So actually this, although I've got a small amount of it, is perfect for this type of quilt. And I think I'm going to opt for those three colours, even though I'm now going into linen. And this was linen, this was a linen skirt, so it would have been cut on the bias. I'm going to have to use that with great care. This then is my selection of fabrics. I'll check it in grayscale. Again, test that it will show up against your white. The one that might have some difficulty is this pale one, but I don't mind that. I'm happy with that selection. Video, I was keen to show you that you can mix yardage and batiks with your fabric stash, and I think you'll see that we can do that. Now I need to iron those fabrics and cut 2.5-inch jelly roll strips from the fabric stash and 6.5-inch blocks from the batik, and I also need 6.5-inch white blocks too. I'm not going to reveal the pattern for you in this video. This is just a taster of what's to come in October. But come back and join me for that. It's called the Gemstone Quilt. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you won't miss when I upload that video. And I usually upload them in small taster sizes of up to 15 minutes. That's all that YouTube and this phone will allow. So for now, this is Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter, in Gemstone Heaven. But I'm still at the moment in Cheshire. I'll see you when I return from my holiday. Thanks for joining me today. Come back and see me soon, won't you? Bye.